Hey, we're back.
Hey.
Awkwardly, my phone just sent me the notification of from the stands went live. Thanks, notifications. We are back. Episode number 20. Yay. 4 weeks in a row that we've done this show. It's craziness. So thanks for hanging out with us today. If you have any questions, as usual, throw them in the chat. I pointed because that's where my chat is, but you know where the chat is when you're on your YouTube.
You pointed out my chat.
I'm like, my chat's right there, so throw it in the chat. As always, we haven't changed as people, but I'm Courtney. You can't lay back there and do the show. You have to come to the microphone. And she's drinking now. This is awkward.
Hi.
And Danielle, we're here. We spoiled you that first week, and all four of us were here, and now you just get whatever combination of us are free at any given time. Well, hopefully I'll get back on one at some point. Hopefully we'll try to get Danica in on one at some point too. That would be great.
Is Jen and Karen beefing? Is that what's going on here? Like, it's been a while since they've been on the same show.
No, she said, "Are you and Karen beefing?" Oh. Get up here.
I still love you, Karen.
No, none of that. Hi, Alyssa. Hi, Star Killer. I'm glad you both are here. I know Star Killer was bummed to not make it last show, and I know Alyssa came in at the end. Well, hello, anyone else who might be joining us. We are gonna get right to it. Just a reminder that I'm not sure if Danica's gonna do one yet. We're gonna try to make her do one though. But 4 of the Q&As are up. So if you haven't seen them yet, mine is up, Jen's is up, Danielle's is up, Karen's is up. Watch them. Comment if you want.
They get progressively longer.
Some of you guys wanted to know more about us. So it's all there. So go for it. And we're gonna change it up a little bit this week. We are gonna because we're going to be covering a lot of women's national team this summer because of the World Cup. Obviously, we're going to try to touch on those games first and national team games first so we get to them. I'd hate to go through like 40 minutes of NWSL greatness and then be like, oh, the World Cup's happening. Oops. So we're going to focus on a little bit of the World Cup and U.S. women's national team first. So they played. Happy Mother's Day. Yep, that was great. If there's any moms out here watching, hope you had a great day. Hope if any of you hung out with your moms, I know you went to New Jersey on Saturday, that everyone's moms had a great day if you're into that kind of thing and you're able to celebrate. So yeah, U.S. women's national team beat South Africa 3-0. 2 goals by Sam Mewis. I have a lot to say on that. Not really a lot, but like, woo, Sam Mewis. And then a goal by Carly Lloyd, which, okay, great, cool.
It was good.
Come off the bench and score a goal. I mean, great. I don't have a problem with that. Right on. Alyssa mentioned JJ with her gauze was a sight. Oh, we're gonna Danielle, do you want to start talking about JJ with the gauze?
So it was really, yeah, I can. It was really funny because I went to an AO bar to hang out with my friends, and I got there a little late because I was hanging out with my mom. And so I got there right after her injury. The first thing people were like, oh, JJ got messed up. And just the gauze out of her mouth, and she couldn't stop bleeding. She had already changed her uniform. And it just, I think there's a quote from one of the announcers. I saw this somewhere that said, I don't know if we went off or not, but I will keep talking and type. But anyways, they're like, modern medicine should be better than this. 1 second. And anyways, I think it really showed why we need a, I don't know if I should keep talking because there's technical difficulties, but I'm going to keep talking. It really showed probably what we were all talking about last time, and that is why we need that backup number 6. JJ, if she hadn't stopped bleeding and if they would have let her back on the pitch, Allie Long could have definitely done it. Cool. So you can still see me. Awesome. Sorry, then I've been rambling because I thought I was talking to myself. anyway, so, I'm not going to bash Allie Long, but I'm not sure if that was, necessarily a position for her. And maybe we needed McCall Zerboni. So I think that.
Oh, we're still here. Are we still here? We're still here. Wow.
I told in the chat that I was talking the whole time, which was very awkward, and I stumbled. But I'm here.
Sorry, we got kicked out completely, like internet down, like gone. I was like, oh Jesus. Well, Danielle, great. I have no idea what you said about JJ.
Basically, I was going over the point of like, I'll repeat just for real quick for you why we needed the backup six. Allie Long isn't necessarily the person to fill that position. One, if JJ hadn't stopped bleeding, which she didn't until after halftime. She's just chewing on that gauze the whole time. So it was almost like the cumulate, of all of our point of why, maybe the roster should have been different. But I mean, she's still badass with that gauze and still almost had at least one goal, if not a couple. Mm-hmm. So JJ she's badass.
Two things I have to say on that. How do you was she allowed to play with it had bled on to run onto her second clean jersey and like the blood was just hanging out? How are you allowed to play with how do they allow her to keep playing with blood just everywhere? I feel like there's some sort of bloodborne issue with that potentially, but I mean,
she got off the field the few times she was.
Yeah. Another reason why, I guess, again, not to crap on Allie Long, but why we really should have had McCall Zerboni was when they made those changes at halftime, everyone went everywhere. JJ went on the back line and then someone else was playing on it was just weird. Everyone shuffled and then we had center backs on the wing and people switched. And then I'm like, what happened? And then they made more subs and everyone switched again. And I'm like, what?
My friend,
what are we doing here? Everyone going everywhere.
I was at that bar and my friends were just laughing because I was just like this the whole time. It's they're like, you're not enjoying it? I was like, no, I'm not at all. At all.
You had made some good points about want to write what you wrote as a note about it, the game, about 1v1.
Yes. We were talking about JJ. I got confused.
I know. I was trying to get us back flustered because we just died for 10 seconds.
Yeah. Big thing I noticed was that South Africa plays a very, very tight 1v1. And we're going to need to work a lot better with that as a team if we're going to be entering into the World Cup, going up against other teams who play a tight 1v1. We need to be able to handle that without as much physicality because we were getting fouled every 2 seconds and it was not good. Well, we were not getting fouled. We were causing fouls every 2 seconds and it was just not good. So we need to work with that a little better.
There were a lot that weren't called too that I was like, oh, we just fouled that, we just murdered that person, and then I was like, oh, no whistle. Okay, that's okay, I guess. Sure. Oh, I'm in the right. I was doing what I told you not to do, and I kind of hung back here. But
I'm gonna.
I was just saying that they didn't call a lot of fouls on the U.S. either, which was kind of awkward. But we're still saying to turn in front of the mic, Danielle.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. There we go. Sorry, Jen, your head will just be there for now. We're gonna get a mic, really. I just haven't gotten. She wasn't on the show last week, and I didn't really think about it. We're gonna get there though. I also just wanted to point out, I guess in my opinion, I like to see more Mewis. Someone said that. Star Killer, I think, said that. More Mewis. I agree. I think we all agree. I can't speak for you. I know Danielle and I at least agree.
I've been saying.
Jen says, okay, sure. And I hate short corners. So many short corners. Why? I hate short corners. Stop.
I do want to give a shout out for that game for the backup South African keeper. She went in and right away she made that big save. And she was a product of the Des Moines Menace women's team. She played for us the last 2 years before, our team went away because every WOSO team I love dies. But, that was kind of a cool moment for us in the bar because we were all fans of the team. And right away she made that big save. And I don't know how much you could fault her for, the goals that went in necessarily. But, I'm going to, obviously want to give her props because Des Moines. So there we go.
Right on. Yeah, I think overall, just to wrap that up, I think that was a lot closer game for a lot longer than it should have been, and it kind of made me a little nervous. I was like, "Oh my god, what is happening?" So again, it was maybe the first game they've played in a little while. Again, though, like I think Starkiller just or someone said against a lot stronger opponents, that kind of nonsense isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
So great.
We can't pass the ball 10 feet behind Tobin Heath against a stronger opponent and see what happens. I was really annoyed by that. Sorry, Kristen Press, but I was really mad about that cross. That was like way behind Tobin. Like we need to know where our players are and kind of judge just the field and the opponents a lot better than what was happening.
All right, so one more final thought. I gave mine. So
yeah, I guess my last final thought is, I think you had pointed out that maybe we hadn't played together in a while, but these are our 3 last send-off games. This is the stuff we were supposed to get out of our system over the last 3 years. And maybe that comes back to a lot of our points of why have a solid list of starters who weren't going to the World Cup. If that's, obviously that team needs to develop more chemistry, and that time has passed. We only have 2 more games, and yes, our group stage is pretty easy, but once we get to the knock, I'm nervous.
Can't be much worse than the Olympics.
I don't know what you're talking about. Those were canceled.
All right, so we're gonna move. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to NWSL, and I'm actually gonna let Jen talk first about the game. I just cut her out. I'm gonna let Jen talk about the game first because the Washington Spirit beat Sky Blue 3-2. You were there. Tell us about the game.
I was there. It was actually from a couple of people that I've talked to, the only nice day they've had in New Jersey in a while. So there's that. There should have been more people there then, because there was like 300 people there. So there's that. It was very, very low attendance. Shout out to Cloud9 though. Any Cloud9ers out there, like you guys are still solid even when there's only 25 other people at your SAC. Much appreciated. Love for the supporters group. Yeah, it was an interesting game. The Spirit looked okay. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more oomph from them. They had a little bit of finishing trouble. But every goal in that game, whether it was from the Spirit or it was from Sky Blue, was just a solid, gorgeous goal. Shayna Matthews had 2, and I think her first one, it was unassisted. She just ran with it and did a thing, and I think that's what really set the momentum going for the Spirit. Had that not happened, we might have had a different outcome, but it was a really solid game. Shout out again to Aubrey Bledsoe, who just needs to play for the national team because she's amazing. But yeah, overall, it was a really good game.
And I forgot to add things that I normally would add. Goals by. I forgot to tell you who scored. I kind of tried some of it. Yeah, Shayna Matthews had 2. Jordan DiBiase had 1 for Washington, and then the Sky Blue goals were Raquel Rodriguez and Imani Dorsey. So, Danielle, any comments about this game?
It was good to see Matthews get a couple goals. Coming back, and I know that the squadron went pretty crazy over that. They were excited. I know they lost, but Sky Blue, I think, continues to be headed in the right direction. I've talked about it. You said this is our 4th week in a row. I think this is my 4th week in a row saying they could really do some damage because of all of the people that they're going to have. So, and I mean, I never even thought about, yeah, I think that they're going to have a dangerous time. They're keeping dangerous players who their team didn't make the World Cup. You know, sad for them, but great for Sky Blue. So it could be really interesting this summer.
And just to comment on one, I see Starkiller saying I miss Sheridan in goal. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna, you know, she's big shoes to fill. So, you know, I'll reserve my commentary on that until, you know, maybe a couple more games. But Sheridan's got big shoes, not big shoes, but it has big shoes to fill for anyone coming in. So I don't know. I'll reserve commentary on that for now. But Jen will make a quick note on that.
Just something that I did notice. Like beating as a keeper, I do. But I feel like she wasn't communicating as well with the back line as Sheridan normally does. And I think that might be part of why we're not seeing her get the same results as Sheridan. There's something missing in that communication there. And you can see it even on the Spirit side when you look at Bledsoe and how she communicates with that back line. They weren't having that same kind of communication. So I think if Didi can start communicating with that back line a little bit better, we're going to get more results out of that defense.
Thank you. All right, moving on. The Houston Dash beat the Royals, handed the Royals their first loss, I believe, 2-1. A brace by Rachel Daly, who also then near the end of the game got a red card for violent conduct. So that's okay. Not really okay, but I guess on that note, kind of sucky that like, whoa, I helped the team win, and then like you did, yeah, all right. And then another goal for the Royals by Amy Rodriguez, like 2 in a row. Woo! Happy to see that kind of form. I kind of made the only points that I had to make was like yay Daly, but like no bueno getting a red card at the end of the game. That's not great. And then basically yay A-Rod for scoring again. Woo! Danielle?
I'm really impressed by this Houston team. I mean, they had been really, struggling over the last few years. Again, yeah, it's early in the season, but I think that definitely shows, it's headed in a very good direction. Would like to see it up. I think Houston Dash fans have had a rough couple seasons, so excited for them. Daly's been red hot.
Hot, red hot. Ooh.
Let's pretend we did that on purpose.
Starkiller wants to know, agree with the Daily red or no?
I can't speak to that. I don't recall it because it was a long weekend, so I saw it, but I can't remember. So I can't answer that. Go ahead.
I'm kind of, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I'm kind of in the same boat as that. Jen's gonna watch it real quick. We'll get back to you on that. I watched it, and then all knowledge of like I had to make a very detailed note card this week because I just was like,
Nothing.
Nothing. You can hear nothing.
Wow. Holy cow. Wow. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good.
You have to talk louder. Be loud like me. Well, stop it.
Anyway, I'm not even going to pretend that I watched the red card happen because I had the Spirit game and then the National game and now. So I'm going to watch it now. I'll let you know, Starkiller.
Please be louder. We don't need a GoFundMe for a mic. We're just forgetful people. We're working on it.
My last point that I was going to make before the red card thing is
please.
Yay for A-Rod scoring. You know me. I'll say it every week. Just really happy that she came back. I don't know. I thought she was always going to come back after that ACL after she tore it. But maybe there is some doubt. So seeing her come back strong as ever. I wish it was for my team, but I'm happy for her and she seems happy. And she's been really great at taking, and this was what she did well in KC too, is you know, she is great at finishing. She'll have her teammates make these incredible runs and incredible passes, and she's not going to let that go to waste. And I think that's always that's why the Lauren Holiday A-Rod combo worked, and it seems like that's something that's being established at Utah. And I'm know Laura Harvey is really glad to be on this side of that.
All right, welcome back to that red card thing. She's getting there, but we're gonna keep it moving. I don't want to say unsurprisingly because that just seems really rude. But Portland beat Orlando 3-1. Goals by Dagny Brindisdottir, Androsina, and Caitlin Ford for Portland, and Toni Presley for Orlando. Again, weird people. Not that Toni Presley is weird, but weird people scoring for Orlando. Like where. And granted, it was a header, so great. Like, and she's tall, so that does make sense. But like, where are the other people scoring for? Other people scoring for Orlando? Like, what's happening? They did better. They had shots on goals this week, which is good. On target shots from 0 to I think they had like 6 or 7. So that's good. But I don't know. I just have a hard time. I'll let Jen talk a little bit more if you want to talk about Portland, but I will move it over to you, but I just wanted to say that I was glad to see the people who scored for Portland scored, because I think, like, you know, Brindisdottir was out on maternity all last season, and like, you know, Ford had some injuries, and Anderson is great, and actually that was a very sweet goal too, honestly. So I thought that was nice. I'm not the hugest Portland fan, but you know, it was a good game. Starkiller made a really good point. Yeah, they had a 30-minute like weather delay literally for like 2 minutes of stoppage time, and I think that at that point it would have been called a game, and I think Orlando could have just chosen to not, but they wanted to, especially down 2 goals. Seems weird, but let's be weird, I guess. Right on. Did you want to talk about Portland? I'm going to scoot over to you to talk about Portland.
I always want to talk about Portland, especially when Portland beats Orlando. Can't be much better.
Have to.
Yeah, I'm happy to see Portland doing well, as always, even without their World Cup players, in terms of the US team. Real quick note on Portland, Haley Rasso on the Australian national team. I'm excited about that. Just going to throw that out there. Obviously other Portland players, but mostly Haley Rasso. I'm going to go back to this red card.
Okay, great. Danielle, wow, that was very abrupt. Danielle, want to like comment? Anything else to say about that?
I guess I'll go back to, you know, a good game from Portland and Orlando. I'll say it every time. There's something bigger happening there, and something needs to change internally, because I mean, I hate to say the word unacceptable, but I think it's been unacceptable this season, considering their resources. You know, it's been garbage, and something needs to change. And I don't think it's necessarily just on the Pride side. You know, if you watch MLS, you remember last year what Orlando City was going through. So I'll continue saying unacceptable.
And I still don't think that, and they got rid of, they traded, I'm trying to remember. Nairn played for Orlando last season, right? She's been to so many teams. And they traded her, and then I don't think they ever have used that spot they got for her yet. So they got rid of somebody who is a solid midfield player, and they didn't replace her really. So, and I would say personally for me, that's the area that they're the weakest is in the midfield. Like, why? I just, there's no, I don't know. I just feel a lot of disjointedness. So that kind of weirds me out. I should note Kottmeyer had a great double penalty save. We'll get to that. Jen's watching the red card from the Rachel Dale's red card, just went ooh. So we're gonna get back to that. Starkiller said, "Do you think Orlando should pull a flash and trade players for first-round picks?" I mean, it worked for the Flash. I would say they had some great success with a lot of their first-round players when they did that. Not to say that will fit for everybody, but I mean, I don't think it could hurt at this point. I just think that, you know, what Paul Riley was able to do with the team of new players and first round draft picks right out of college and stuff that he was able to do was awesome. So maybe it wouldn't hurt. And then Alyssa pointed out Nairn won a big W League award. Yes, she did. And they traded her for we don't know what yet. So, okay. I want to stop being mean to Orlando because I think that I am being a little mean. But it needs to be better. And I'm sorry, Orlando fans. I really am. It just has got to be better. And it's not. And I really hope it gets kind of better at some point. But it just, you know. Let me get through the last game and we'll go back to the red card. And then finally, what I think I'm most surprised about, maybe not surprised because Chicago was good, but I didn't think North Carolina was going to be that bad. Sorry again, Carolina fans. I like the Courage, but they were not great. Chicago beat North Carolina 3-1. I think that was like North Carolina's first loss in like a while. First 2-goal loss in like a really long time. So 2 goals by Sam Kerr. She had an assist as well, killing it. And then a goal from, I hope I don't kill her name, Michelle Vasconcelos. Hope I did that okay. Which I always like stuff like that too. And you know, it was a good goal as well. There were just some sweet goals all the way around this week. Like goal of the week, which we'll get to, was hard. There were so many good goals. But yeah, I don't really think the Courage played well at all. So that's really all I want to say about that. Do you want to say anything about Courage losing their first game in a while?
I mean, that's I know what it was. Like Chicago did pretty good, but like the Courage lost that one more than Chicago won it. I think. Like don't get me wrong, Chicago's good, but I feel like Courage should have played that one better than they did.
Yeah. Oh, I nailed the name. Awesome. Thanks, Star Killer. Right on. Danielle, what are your thoughts?
No shade towards North Carolina, but I was glad to see Chicago finally beat them. I think, and I don't, again, no shade because sometimes that's the best thing for a team is to finally get the loss and get that off their back. So, you know, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, it was a nice game. I know it was cold in Chicago. You know, while I was watching the national team game, another TV had NBC Sports Chicago, so I was able to kind of watch both games. And I had joked to I texted my friend in local. I was like, "So, are there like 3 people there?" And she's like, "It is so cold right now, Danielle." So, you know, props to the players for playing in that. Chicago's had terrible weather luck this season.
Oh my God, yes.
But, you know, Sam Kerr is so good. You know, I'm hoping, you know, for their sake, Rory has, you know, been practicing maybe some games without her to kind of try to get that chemistry. I think that we were talking about this before the game. I think this is the last weekend for the Aussies in the league. So after this weekend, you know, obviously that's going to be they're really going to miss Sam. And I think we'll miss Sam, you know, in the league as well. I think I'm repeating myself, so I'll just kind of go on. But, you know, hopefully Chicago can stay strong this summer. I think their you know, fans are going to be there. I know their fans are very much club over country, you know, with local. So they're going to want them to stay strong. And Star Killer said Roland kind of looked rusty in goal. You know, Roland's a really great keeper. I wish she would get more playing time, you know, in general. I think that's why she went to the Flash in the first place, is she wanted more playing time. So being, you know, backup, I don't know if it's, yeah. So hopefully she can, you know, use this to her advantage and really show how strong she really is, because she is a really good keeper.
I'm also surprised she played though, honestly, because she has been having a shoulder injury and was like still questionable on the injury report. So that might have been part of it too. She hasn't really played or like had any time because she was injured, and I honestly didn't think she was even going to start. I thought she maybe needed another week or so that could have something to do with it as well. Speaking of players missing in Chicago, also missing is Alyssa Motts, who tore ACL, which and I gotta say Veronica Latsko too for Utah. No, stop with
Friday
the ACL. There's so what?
Friday was tough because both of them were announced on Friday.
And there's so many ACLs this season. Oh, it's just sad. So definitely both of those players. I mean, Mott's for sure from Chicago is a big loss, and Latko too had been like, it was, and then we just found out. I don't know if we missed it today that I don't know who was Taylor Lido playing for. Was that Utah also? Because she's done for the season now too. But they signed Mallory. Someone signed Mallory Weber. If someone knows this that's watching the show, I thought she played for Utah because she used to play for Sky Blue, and then I think she was injured and got traded. This is Taylor Lytle, and then she had a foot injury before the season even started, and they announced, I think today, that she is not even going to play the season and out, and they signed Mallory Weber. God, I wish I think it was Utah again. If you know, correct me. But that's another player who is just going to be who's missing the season, and I'm sorry that I'm so unprepared about that. But I heard it like really late, like on the way home, so I didn't get a chance to really look at it. I should have. But injuries suck. That's all I gotta say about that.
You got it right.
And it's Utah. I got it right. It is Utah. Okay. And Weber's going to thank you, Alyssa. Woo. All right. I sometimes know what I'm talking about. So anyways, that's from this week. Next week's game, Sky Blue at the Reign on Saturday. Portland at Washington also on Saturday. I will say I'm wishing the Portland and Washington game happened a little bit earlier in the season while the national team players were still here, because that is always a real rough and tumble, exciting game. Not that it won't be, but it probably will be a little less so without the national team players there. It should be a good game still. It's Jen's favorite. Which is sad, but it is. Utah at North Carolina on Sunday, and then Chicago at Houston also on Sunday. Again, I think we're going to have a slew of great games, and then Orlando actually gets a reprieve of us talking smack with them because they're not playing this week. And there's a national team game on Thursday or Friday?
I think it's Thursday. I think I'm at a work dinner.
Thursday. I know that it is not on the weekend, so Thursday or Friday. I thought I said the 17th, maybe the 16th. So don't forget about that also, and that will be. It's fine. I know it's in St. Louis. From St. Louis.
It's on the 16th.
On the 16th, so Thursday. Thanks for a reminder about that. We're talking about that. Just a couple. We're just gonna run through the quick gauntlet, and then we can weigh in on the red card. Tim Kerr was Player of the Week. Rachel Daly and Shayna Matthews also got votes. Those are my top three. For my pick this week, I had Matthews in second only because I can't in good faith put somebody ahead who scored 2 goals and got a red card than someone who didn't. But solid folks in there. Haley Kottmeyer, goal save of the week, which I think was very well deserved for that basically double PK save. Sweet. And Andressina got goal of the week, which again, I think any of them would have been solid choices. Are Bowen and Ursik going to be playing for New Zealand on Thursday? I don't know. I feel like Ursig was maybe on her way to join the team. I say that solely based on some player Snapchats and videos, but I could be real wrong about that. If we're able to find out, we'll retweet it or something like that. I haven't heard. I actually don't know the status of all the players reporting for international duty yet, so we'll let you know if you figure that out. And then just real quick, want to run through attendance. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy. There's always a discrepancy between like the reported attendance and then the actual attendance. Sky Blue, I feel like, was a very big difference. They're reporting in at a little over 1,300. Jen is like no chance. So, and then, Danielle and I we were talking about this, maybe including season ticket holders and stuff like that. They count attendance. That still seems a little bit high considering there was literally no one there. Still not great regardless. Houston at Utah had in Utah had a little over 10,000. certainly a drop off from 16,000, but still awesome. And I'm not going to complain about 10,000 people went to a NWSL game. So right on. Portland at Orlando had 4,400, so that's pretty solid too. And then North Carolina at Chicago, 2,100. Again, probably weren't that many people there because it was cold. Might have affected walk-up sales also, so I'm not going to get on Chicago yet because they've had horrible weather all season. So I'm not going to crap on them about their attendance yet because they have just had miserable weather, and I know that affects people who may be saying like, oh, I'll just go to the day of the game and get some tickets because they're not going to do that when it's cold and gross out. So
am I going to go to the soccer game in the cold, or am I going to be inside with my mom on Mother's Day?
That too, right? Especially being Mother's Day. If I was planning on taking my mom to the soccer game and then it was that cold and awful, I would have been like, Mom, let's go to dinner instead. Sorry, soccer. So understandable for that. Star Killer says at least we had choices for goal of the week this week. Yes, thankfully. My goodness, I'm pumped about that. And then so we're coming back to you about this red card, and then if anything else, we'll wrap it up. Definitely a red card. Great,
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely a red card. Yeah. No, I for sure agree with that. You can't really do that. That's not a.
Well, it was for violent conduct. What
No.
Yeah, that's definitely that's that you can't hands to the face. You
Red
can't.
card.
Yeah, can't do that. Star Killer says places like Chicago are a perfect reason to stay with the spring-fall schedule.
Not even spring.
We're in spring. This is spring. This is spring.
We were there. It was bad. It was that. Oh man, it was like walking through a giant 7-Eleven slushie that was being poured from the sky. Like it was just not a good thing.
Yeah. All right. Anyone have anything else they want to comment on? I think we nailed most of the stuff going on. I know. Apologize again. I know there were sometimes we had a hard time hearing Jen, but we got it was better. I feel like than the last time Jen was on a show. Significantly, we only had a couple of oopsies. We're gonna try to get a mic. I keep saying that, but I'm forgetful. But we'll get there. Did you have anything else to add, Danielle, before we send it off for the day?
Excited for this next weekend. I think there's a lot of good games in the league. While I've made it very clear I can't watch the game on Thursday, I'm actually really excited to see how the national team does. I think that New Zealand is always an interesting game. Obviously, we're familiar with the players, with the coach. Hopefully, we can see they can show us why these players were chosen and prove us all wrong. So hopefully it goes well. I'm glad to see a leg. Is your cat cleaning itself behind you?
Yes, she
Nala! Dang it!
Anyways, I just hope that it's a good game.
All right. Well, on that note, did you have something else?
Yeah.
Sorry, speak loudly into the computer.
From what I am hearing, it's unconfirmed, but from what I am hearing,
louder. Just take.
From what I'm hearing, and it is unconfirmed, but Ursig and Bowen are potentially playing on Thursday. So be prepared for that.
The cat's cleaning herself in the background. You're doing one of these, and all right, that's a great place to end the show for the week. So. Bye everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll work on her in the future.
Don't you Jen? You sometimes too, especially when you look away. I'm not letting either of you off the hook here.
Thank you.
We'll try to be better. Again, this is not a professional operation, but I know it's annoying when you can't hear when we're talking. So we promise that we'll work on it. But we're gonna wave and say goodbye for now, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Follow our social media if you want to know when we're on the show again. Why are you pushing me out of the way? No, she doesn't. She's taking a bath.